Hey, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Kiwoon Learning, and today we'll be once again kind of just going over the major indexes while we are live trading. And really, what we're seeing that we're on a very strong down movement right now. On Friday, we got a move that we haven't seen in probably over a month or so. It was just basically a straight downward move on Friday. Extremely strong move, breaking through a lot of different support and resistance areas, and this strong move also came with the catalyst of the Fed meeting on Friday, where Powell kind of just talked about GDP data. But as you can kind of see, you got this very quick breakdown, come back up, it's retest, and then we just got a continual fall for the rest of the day. This is, I believe, roughly like a -3% day for SPY, 3.5 for the Nasdaq. While also major stocks like Tesla, Apple down multiple points as well. What we're kind of looking at today is, most likely speaking, is that we're going to get a decent amount of chop. However, SPY is currently at one of the bigger levels here today, which is the 400 level to the downside, and then this 405.38-ish to the upside here. These are really big levels just because of the fact that we're psychologically right next to this very large level of 400. Something that I would be careful of when we do get closer to market open is kind of just this over idea of trapping. Trapping tends to happen on the longer time frames, and it really just means that more experienced or people with more money tend to wait for traders to get out and break certain support and resistance levels, and then basically buy back in the opposite way. When they do that, it will get a lot of the retail traders or the people without a lot of money to kind of get out of the trade so that the big guys can kind of just go and keep on selling it even further down and hopefully catch retail traders in like basically FOMO. Um, but yeah, this is what we're most likely going to be seeing today. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it, just because once again this 400 level has been a psychologically very high level, or very strong level for the S&P 500 ETF SPY. But yeah, that's what I'd say for right now. But other than that, just some in other news, just some things to know before market open today. Yeah, as I was talking about before, Federal Reserve Jerome Powell basically said that the central bank would continue fighting inflation with increased hikes in terms of interest rates. So not looking too good in terms of loan wise. Also talking about how investors are looking to look forward to the August jobs report. That was on Friday, and kind of just see how the rate hike from the Fed in September will kind of affect that. Also, the Artemis 1 mission from NASA, I believe just a few minutes ago, actually, they were talking about how that they were just getting delayed, actually, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I believe the NASA 1 mission has just gotten delayed. Not officially, but it has gotten delayed due to an engine, not failure, but some kind of problems with the engine. Um, but yeah, the Artemis project has already faced several delays and has gone over $1 billion over budget. So the first mission is very high stakes. But once again, to kind of think about this, and the reason why this really affects us is that this may affect some of the smaller cap space stocks like Voyager. Uh, but yeah, this is why we might see some kind of chop in the morning as well. Other news, we also have no more free COVID tests from the government. This is again really big because basically saying that Congress has done enough funding, um, and will basically stop its free tests through the covidtest.gov. Until then, they basically said that we believe reserving the remaining tests for distribution later this year is the best course. Basically saying that if we get hit by a second wave of COVID, we're probably not going to be ready for it. We don't really have enough basically tests or masks right now. And even Google employees have said that they face numerous notices of code infections, and a lot of them are also calling for changes to the company vaccine policy. So yeah, really big news in terms of COVID. And also, something that happened on Friday that didn't really cover too much on stream was about how Moderna is actually suing Pfizer and BioNTech over the code vaccine technology. So some of the things to highlight from this article from the Wall Street Journal here is that by Rebecca Robbins and Jenny Gross. They basically state that experts like Moderna's litigation, regardless of the outcome, basically talk about how some of Pfizer's profits are really because of Moderna. Pfizer basically copied a lot of what Moderna was doing. That's basically why they're suing them and why they believe they have a case for it. For Moderna, he said that establishing their ownership and dominance in the space is basically going to set like the stage for future royalties. As we know, COVID really hasn't been going anywhere. Cases haven't actually. How has cases been? Cases haven't really been skyrocketing by any means, but they also aren't dead low either. Yeah, definitely going down here. Just overall, but yeah, we're still showing at around 50 to 100,000 new cases every single day here in the U.S. So yeah, just stuff to think about in terms of if you wanted to go long on Pfizer or Moderna. Both of these relative, relatively solid companies. However, it's just something you probably need to think about just because of the fact that there's probably going to be a lot of back and forth between these two companies in the very short term near future. And Pfizer also potentially forcing to pay over tens of $millions, which also reached a record of $36.8 billion in terms of overall sales in 2021 with the COVID vaccine. And I think that was basically it. I mean, yeah, main thing, Moderna suing Pfizer. Problem basically it was that Moderna didn't really feel like they were getting their share. Also kind of found out that they weren't really getting, not necessarily paid enough, but they're also getting their stuff kind of stolen as well. So yeah, something to kind of just think about once again, if you are thinking about playing Moderna or Pfizer, there's going to probably be a decent amount of back and forth in between the two pretty soon. So yeah. And then just another thing, a lot of people are saying that this bottom, there's a lot of buying at these levels that we are at today. However, once again, I think if we break this 400 level today, strong and no just trapping, I think we can continue to head lower. Just because historically, once again, September is historically just a very bad month for stocks in general. It's also a midterm election year, which the Dow has fallen 11 out of the last 18, so more than 50-50. As well as the fact that, or an October crash, yeah, so something to kind of think about as well. If we don't necessarily get a big swing this month, we may get the big swing in October as well. Economists are also forecasting an increase of 285,000 jobs, which again, very solid numbers. Inflationary pressures are cooling, which once again are really solid. Economists really are trying to focus in on these numbers just because everything else right now isn't necessarily great. So right now we really want to be thinking about what we're really getting into here with the overall market, and really just seeing if jobs can keep increasing, as well as just how many payrolls Americans can get on in the near future here. But yeah, other than that, that's really just the main pieces of news here on the overall markets. And we're gonna basically just once again targeting these two levels here on SPY. I am getting signals to go long here, kind of debating on whether or not taking it, but yeah, SPY down a little bit pre-market here. I think Apple, yeah, Apple kind of feeling it as well. Apple slight gap down here. Yeah, Apple minus 3.7% on Friday, so yeah, definitely some pain there. But yeah. Also, sorry if I don't talk too much this stream. Not feeling the greatest, but yeah. But yeah, kind of just waiting for market to open here. A lot of these levels going pretty big, but once again, I think whatever SPY really does, whether it goes back and fills a gap or comes down here, it will most likely see the rest of the market kind of following the same. So yeah. Do 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 do. Um, what else is going on? Oh yeah. Also in some other news, uh, main watches for this like entire week will kind of be on Tesla and Google. Um, Tesla's currently coming down to its big 850 level, um, which was also big news last week. If you guys missed it, Tesla also doing a 3-to-1 split, completing it on Thursday morning, and right now they're currently trading at 290 to 300. But as Tesla keeps coming down to this 285 level, which was the 850 level support area on Tesla before. A breakthrough this level will honestly prompt Tesla to probably continue falling towards a 276 level here on Tesla. Again, once again, we don't really have too much like support from before when just expanding out. But once again, we do know that this is like the 850 level that we kind of know a lot about. So once again, we want to just bank that there is going to be some kind of support here at 285, but it's not looking great for Tesla. We already made this 285 break pre-market here, which doesn't look too great for them. But once again, getting a buy signal on the longer charts. Um, but yeah, we also have Google here. I believe as we go out and expand, I think it's playing off like a higher low here. Once again, we're getting a buy signal on Google here as well. Last time we kind of played Google was mostly to the, I believe it was the downside, so we played like 115 puts for our last swing based on like this entry right here. And I think it went from like 2.4 entry to like 6.8. And I kind of expect Google to either bounce either at 110 level, which is right here, or at like 107 flat. The bounce off of either's levels, we would probably most likely try playing calls up to 125 here. Also, Google's trend has proven to be, once again, very, very significant. Last time we played, the calls were from 2100 to 2400, so full $300 move last time on Google. And then we then played puts on them last week as well. Google's like trends and trendline positions tend to follow relatively well, so that's another reason why we're kind of just targeting those for right now. But yeah, once again, we're getting a lot of buy signals all across the board here. So it definitely is tempting me here. But yeah, definitely kind of just trying to wait it out, hopefully. But it's gonna be hard as well though, because on Friday we had a strong move down as well. So that's just why I'm not all too confident that we're gonna get a strong move back in that same direction. You might get a slight move back, but we'll most likely see some chop here. But yeah. Also, once again, some other news. Zelensky is also saying that Russia's not ready to hold peace negotiations. After local authorities say Ukrainian missile strike hit a roof on a fuel depot near a nuclear power plant in Ukraine. So, yeah, Zelensky trying to make peace, but it's not looking great. Also, ding ding ding. That is market open here. Again, we are getting some kind of selling. Again, I feel like we're going to be trapping just a little bit here. I think likeliness is that we do move to the upside here, just because I feel like we are relatively oversold. But once again, stochastics are definitely moving down here. 5 minute, we're trying to chop to the upside here, trying to do its best, but yeah, we're trying to just most likely wait this out for a little bit before we get a solid move one way or the other. But yeah, there is some retracing there. really considering grabbing calls on this open, once again, just because of how many buy signals I'm getting. Probably something that I'm willing to hold throughout like a little bit of time here. Um, but yeah, kind of just going through my thoughts right now. Um, but yeah, other than that, yeah, I think overall markets will most likely jump up today. Just after, I mean, -3.5 is it's brutal. So I think for us to not have some kind of recovery day today, by the end of the day, it's gonna be pretty hard. Also, some people swung puts overnight, pretty strong with those as well. Um, yeah, overall market's down slightly. SPY down -0.72 here, so nothing extremely strong, but yeah, definitely to slight downside there on SPY. Thinking about picking up the 4070s on SPX. Once again, I'm still looking for upside here in the markets. I think that we're relatively strong. Um, but yeah. Some people are looking into QCOM. Moving to the upside here. They're only minus down 0.05. But yeah, wow, they had a brutal day on Friday. Jeez. But yeah, some people are grabbing calls here on QCOM. Still kind of just trying to wait it out. But I guess something to kind of just take note of. Yeah, 4070 calls looking pretty solid here. I'm thinking about just entering one here. Yeah. Currently entered in at 3.4, and we will try to keep making this move to the upside here on SPY. However, once again, we will try, and this is decreasing volume, which isn't great, but once again, I just overall like this move just because of the signals that I'm getting to the upside here. Once again, we're still trying to prove this upside here, so we want to keep getting this strong, solid move up here. Strong, solid move up will most likely result in a lot of buyers trying to come in here. We are getting a closed long signal here though, which isn't great. Not something you necessarily want to see as soon as you enter. But once again, not terrible. I still really like this upside here on SPY, especially after making this relative break on this 200 here. We are tapping this and pulling back a little bit, however. So not the best, not the best for sure. We're back to around break even here on these SVX contracts. But yeah, moving relatively fast here for sure. Once again, as long as this candle doesn't fully engulf the previous candle, so not like a bigger body than this last candle, I still don't mind this to the upside here. We're seeing increasing volume, which is what we want to see off the gates here. Still like this move to the upside, ideally. But kind of see how this continues to play out here. Um, yeah, still looking pretty strong here. Alright, SPY, keep coming up here. It's looking pretty strong. I think my price target will be at this 405.26 area. If we get up here, that will be my exit 100%. If we get a little bit of choppiness between, I may sell as well, but that is the area that I personally am targeting. 405.26. It's a little bit lower than what that gap was, so um, maybe a kind of premature exits, but it's something that I kind of like. And so Korean green here is always really solid. So yeah, contracts are kind of moving on the slower side for sure, um, but still movement is quite solid here. That's not a candle we would like to see. Yeah, I'm setting my stop to break even here. Um, so then once again, even if we do get kicked out, uh, it's alright. But once again, you'd like to see this continual upside here. Um, but once again, if we get kicked out, that's fine. But yeah, I still think that this move up here is relatively strong. Um, but yeah, we really need to not do what we're doing right now. And keep pausing here on low volume. We want to see this continual volume to the upside here, and not really get any kind of pullback. But yeah, this pullback isn't great. Once again, we're not engulfing this previous candle, which doesn't make me worry too much yet. Yeah, 1 second to this candle close here. Yeah, it's not necessarily the candle we want to see. But yeah, kind of brutal coming back down here. And we are exiting out of that trade for only a 10% great gain here. So yeah, not anything great. Again, green is green, which isn't terrible here, but we did catch this slight move up. Our buy was here, getting out roughly right here. So again, the move itself was not that great. It was 402.66 up to 403.28, so roughly only like 60-cent move or so. But honestly, that was not a terrible move to catch. I still think SPY is still heading to a relative upside here. But yeah, 10% something that I'll take. I think we probably peaked at nearly 25% gain, to be honest. But yeah, I'm gonna be taking that trade most of the days, for sure. Also, if I'm not talking terribly much, not feeling necessarily great, so. Yeah, may re-enter here actually, off of the bottom of this. I kind of like this double bottom here in SPY. I kind of gonna be waiting for this candle close though for sure, before kind of thinking which way I want to go here. But I may try to go and re-enter the 40-70s here. Again, to kind of preface that last trade, I entered roughly 3.4. Got roughly out at 3.8, so roughly 10, 12.5% move there on SPX, which is not bad at all. Yeah, not the kind that we want to see, not entering, not yet at least. A lot of people are still targeting the downside here, which isn't something you necessarily want to see. However, once again, we are getting this slight pop up here. We are creating what I like to call, and what a lot of people like to call, just supply and demand levels, and huge move up actually. Geez, yeah, contracts already up nearly 20% just from this bottom here. I think it might enter, but yeah, that's very strong move up there. But yeah, so big thing. Wow, you're moving fast actually. I think that just ever so by like a single cent breaks days highs. again, we're gonna be trying for this continuing move upside. If you're looking for entry, honestly, I'd wait until we pull back to the 9 EMA in the 1 minute. Getting FOMO at these levels, again, not necessarily great. I think we maybe have another dollar move in us, but yeah, until then, just wait for a slight pullback to enter. But yeah, something to kind of just think about there. But yeah, as I was kind of saying before, the reason why I kind of want to enter calls based off of, I think it was this candle right here, was that um, we were getting decreasing volume on this like selling right here, right? So we are trying to focus basically on a type of reversal, and the reason why I basically chose, or I didn't necessarily choose, but the reason why I was thinking why we wanted these levels and very solid breaks here on SPY, continuing to move to the upside. Once again, just even from the bottom out here of 402.95 to where we are at 403.75, that right there is like a 35% move on SPX. Contracts also very much so moving quite fast, but um, yeah. But anyways, this supply and demand level very strong here, just because we were kind of coming up. We know supply um, wanted to supply like to the upside here, and once again we got that buy signal, so we go with the buy signal. But we decided to go to the level that we kind of just slightly pull back to. We kind of touch it once, two, three times, so that's why I kind of like this continual move to the upside here. We are getting a huge wick back though on SPX, or SPY, shall I rather say. Um, Basically killing any gains to the break to the upside here. Once again, not terribly surprising, just because when you expand to like the 5 minute, for example, um, you got roughly another minute 49 here on SPY. But yeah, once again, I said this before at market open, we're most likely going to trap. So locking in profits today is not a bad idea, just because, once again, today is a rough day. Just because, well, yeah, we after having solid one-way moves for basically an entire day, it's very hard to think otherwise in terms of uh, what the following day will be, and most likely today is not going to be great in terms of trend or movement, because once again, most likely speaking, as long as you didn't really play the Fed meeting, you could have just played puts, and as long as you held them for like an hour, which is, I know, a long time in trading, but I mean, you probably most likely would have made money. Perfect entry again here would probably most likely be off of this. I think this is the 50 EMA here. I'm playing this up to here, grabbing puts here, letting it pull back as long as you're not breaking the 100, which you don't do to the end of the day. I mean, that's still a solid nearly $4 move on SPY, which is not something you usually see on a regular basis. But yeah, very impressive here. SPY once again pulling back to this 21 EMA, I believe. And it's looking very clean here on SPY. We have not broke this level yet. We kind of just are tapping, and kind of moving up from it. I think once we do break it, yes, there is possible downside, but once again, when we go out to the 4-hour chart, we are getting buy signals here. The day chart, I don't think we ever got one. But yeah, on the longer term relative charts, we are getting signals basically saying that we are somewhat oversold to the downside here. But but yeah. But yeah. Yeah, once again, large wick back here. Not terribly surprising, just because, once again, you're gonna have a lot of institutional buyers and sellers, as well as very experienced traders on a day like today, kind of just coming in and killing retail traders out of certain trades. Because once again, breaking this EMA, a lot of people may have thought to go puts, but yeah, that's not necessarily what you want to do there. Waiting for that confirmation on longer time frames, like the 5 minute, which does look quite nasty right now, um, it is quite important here. At the end of the day, basically everyone has the same patterns, has the same candlestick charts, I guess. But the only really difference it tends to make is, who has basically more confidence in these longer term charts, and who's going to get antsy and kind of preemptively enter. And so that happens a lot here in the market, so kind of just waiting for the longer term confirmation is important more or less of the time. So. Also, hello David. David in the chats here. But yeah, today so far I guess we are 1 for 1 here. Only up 10% on that trade though, but not terrible. This is quite a choppy morning here on SPY. But yeah, I guess we kind of just live right now. SPY kind of just moving however it wants to move. Going to Tesla here, definitely swinging a little bit more here. 285 level, as I kind of specified before, was the 850 level on Tesla before their split, so big level here on Tesla. We really want to make sure that this level gets held today, or else, once again, I most likely will be swinging puts if by the end of the day we're not above this 285 area. 285 was extremely important on the macro outlook of Tesla, because every time they broke this 285 level, which was the 850 level previously, this would most of the time result in them plummeting to 800, 780, 750 almost. So yeah, something to kind of just take note of with Tesla there. But yeah, Tesla. What else we got? We got Apple here. Yeah, Apple once again popping up, trying to sell off here. We are getting a lot of selling volume, though. As you can kind of see, this volume, as long as we're not like dying off the cliff here, it looks quite solid. But yeah, a lot of stocks trying to target the downside here. Not super surprising, but once again, for SPY and for everything to really kind of continue with SPY, we get this 400 like flat level break. Extremely high likeliness we have another relatively red day here, even after that straight red we got on Friday. But once again, we're gonna wait for that confirmation on SPY. But yeah, some other stocks kind of just keep in mind of here. Babo is kind of tearing up towards like this 100 level after closing on Friday 97. So they actually had a huge intraday move. Friday they opened at 106, closing at 96, nearly 10% move. Extremely strong by Alibaba. But Alibaba once again trying to retake this 100 level. Doesn't look like they're doing it too well though. However, this 100 level seems to be kind of like the death of them. Holds them under very well. And even when it doesn't, it seems to kind of just get a slight pop and then kind of rejection from it in pre-market and aftermarket trading. So Alibaba kind of just one to look out for as well. But yeah. Also, for the people who are asking about on Friday about difference between SPX and SPY, basically SPX is like if SPY gave you a heart attack. SPX is how it works is that on the options chain, the reason why SPX moves so fast is because of the fact that, well, most stocks, they don't even have options every dollar, right? It's every $5 typically. So you can bet on certain stocks getting to 90, 95, $100, like Alibaba for example. However, with just SPY, right, they have not, they have I think 2 or 3 day expirations most of the time, sometimes 0, which makes them move faster, but typically it's by the dollar, right? So each dollar kind of represents, I think like 0.25% ish, if my math is right. But with SPX, they have contracts every $5. However, their value of their stock isn't 400 something, it's 4,000 something. It's basically SPY times 100, but the contracts are only within intervals of 5 instead of what the same interval will be on SPX or on SPY, which would have been like the intervals of 10. So that means that every small move that SPX makes, you're basically getting double the move that than what SPY would be getting. Again, there's a lot of stuff that kind of plays into this, but that's kind of just the general thumb. Don't really think of it as double, maybe 1.5 times the speed. But that's why if you are going to play SPX, A, you can only really play it on your phone, and B, there's only 2 brokerages, potentially 3 actually, that let you even trade them. And those 3 include Webull, TD, and Fidelity, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, those are the only 3 brokerages that even let you play SPX, because once again, it is very risky. If you do not get your entry, you have a relatively decent likeliness that you will get burned. And also even setting stops here on SPX is very dangerous as well. But yeah, that's how me playing SPX on SPY and kind of waiting, not necessarily for the perfect entry, but for decent entry. That's how like this even extremely small move here, literally from 402.70 to 403.30, so 50-cent move is netting me plus 10%. Because on regular SPY contracts, this is maybe 2.5, 5%, if that. Also, even on like this move from here, this having like this violent move and peaking here, full dollar move, you're probably netting 25% there on SPX contracts. But once again, that's kind of just understanding the options chain and how basically contracts kind of move. I can get more like in depth into that just because kind of breaking down the options chain is kind of hard and kind of understanding it. But yeah, that's generally why. If you really want to have a heart attack in terms of how fast options move, as if options don't move quick enough already, SPX, look into it. Maybe don't trade it, but it's just kind of cool to see how fast things kind of move, especially when you compare it to just the beginning of how options really move in general. Um, but yeah, a lot of stuff kind of goes into how options move. Um, the first of it really kind of comes down to, what the actual stock price is, when the expiry is, right? And what expiry is like when the contracts or the options are actually expiring. So for most contracts and for basically all big companies, those companies really have expiration in terms of options on every Friday typically. So you're getting one expiry every single week. And so let's say it's like a Monday and you got the contracts expiring Friday. Because there's a longer period of time in between, even if the stock moves a little bit during the day, the actual contracts will not move as much during the day as something that expires closer to the day. So like that's why on Monday is not typically the best day, I guess, to trade contracts, just because even if you are catching that move, a lot of the times if you're catching that move on bigger stocks like Apple or Alibaba that really only have expirations on like a Friday, typically that move is not going to be that big. Whereas, of course, if you get to like Wednesday or even Thursday or even Friday, which is 0 DTE or 0 days to expiration, a lot of times that these contracts will move extremely fast. Once again, meaning that you need to make better entries, but this also means that these moves can also be very solid as well. Also, in the middle of this, I think I might be entering calls here on SPX once again. Trying to target this upside as we kind of just break to the upside here. Very, very fast move once again. Kind of just waiting for this pullback and confirmation here to roughly this high of 403.78. This was our previous high. Also, a lot of the breaks tend to do this. You tend to like to break over a previous high and then slightly pull back to kind of launch a little bit higher here, as we are kind of doing here. Unfortunately, did not get filled. Missed it by just 3 cents. Very, very unfortunate. Would have already been up 10% there on SPX. But yeah, that's alright. But yeah, today is a very, very shaky day, none the least. But yeah, sorry, getting back to the option side of things. So that's kind of why options move as fast as they do. There are other variables like delta. Delta you'll most likely see if you do get into the options chain, which is basically a bunch of different numbers that you're looking at the same time. Maybe entering here a trade as well. But you'll basically see a bunch of numbers as well. And you'll see delta either as DLTA or potentially just a triangle. But when you do see that, what's really kind of important to note about that is that those are like decimals, right? So you'll probably see it in like 0.11, 0.12, 0.4, 0.5, 0.8, right? And what that really means is that a lot of the times that's basically the probability of by the time that expiration does hit, that you will most likely basically want that for the contract to be in the money. And for what it means to be in the money really just goes along the lines of, let's say for SPY here, right? You're trading at 403 right now, and you see expiries actually. I believe it would be, what is it, August 31st? August 31st would be one of the dates, and let's say you wanted to bet on, SPY hitting, I don't know, 401, right, by the end of the day. I don't know exactly what that delta is, but I'm guessing it's going to be around 0.2, 0.3 maybe. So how to really calculate it is that based on what the market kind of thinks, is that whatever that decimal is, just think of it as a percentage of a probability, right? So just multiply that delta by 100, so that'd be like 0.3, so that'd be basically 30. So 30% chance that the market thinks that your contract will hit. But basically, whatever the market thinks is kind of how it is priced in. And so that's what you hear a lot about options in the beginning, is that everything's already priced in, which is not necessarily true, but it is true to some aspect that, yes, even if you do get a big move, but the big move is kind of expected, that gain isn't going to be as great as an unexpected move, right? Which kind of makes sense, I guess. But yeah, delta kind of also goes into that. There's also implied volatility. So when you have large catalysts like earnings or even like this Fed meeting on this past Friday, even catching this entire move like right here to bounce back up here, you're probably only netting like 10-20% when on a normal day this is easily 100% to both sides. Just because we were expecting a very, very large move, which basically juices the premiums of contracts, which ultimately means that even if you do get the move that you want, you're most likely not going to be entirely moving to the side that you want. But yeah, hello, David.
Hello?
Hi.
No, I was looking at the market. There's a huge like two red candles. I was looking at Salesforce.
Oh, Salesforce? Yeah, I mean, same thing with Snowflake. Snowflake
Uh-huh.
came out and just got burned this morning. Uh,
hmm
Snowflake was, I mean, yeah, look at Snowflake right now too. They like peaked at like, I think this is their 200 EMA or 100 EMA from at 196.83, and they're all the way down at 188 right now. Wait, this is insane. They just made $11 move, David, since market open.
You made what?
They just made an $11 move since market open. Snowflake.
What? What the
They,
hell?
here, hold
I
on.
don't
Let
know.
me just stream it to you. What you eating right now, David?
Bagel.
Sounds pretty good, actually. But yeah, look at this. This is today. This is the 1 minute candle chart. They open here at 196. They're trading currently at 188.
What?
Yeah, Snowflake
That's
is
so wild. What the hell?
yeah. Spy is also just it's just chopping a lot, which
Uh-huh.
makes sense because also just dude as a general rule of thumb, like when you trade, I was kind of talking about this before, but when you get a very strong move, like in a single direction, and I'm talking about like a 1, 2, and even on Friday, which is kind of weird, a 3% day, um, you typically are not going to get a continual kind of movement day on the following day. Like you aren't going to get like a one-way move as you did on Friday typically.
Mhm.
So like the following day after those one moves, like expect like that you're going to chop for a little bit. Um, so yeah, these are days that you also need to be careful trading as well, because it could be pretty hard trying to kind of analyze which way you're kind of going to be going one way or the other.
Got it.
But yeah.
Sound better. Doesn't seem like you're very sick now.
Oh, sorry, what?
Doesn't seem like you're very sick now. Sound better.
Yeah, I was sounding a lot worse a few days ago, but yeah, I don't necessarily feel 100% yet, but yeah, it's okay. How's your weekend, David? I like your hat.
It's not mine. Trying. I stole it while you're sleeping.
What? What did you do
It
over
is
the
a good
weekend
though.
though? It was good?
I don't really know. I didn't really do a lot.
Hmm. That's fair. I mean, neither did
I
I
was just
really.
sick. Like Saturday, I was so sick. Like my head hurt so much.
Really?
Yeah, but it went away like the next day. Like literally the next day, it was just like I'm fine. Like today, I feel like just fine.
Really?
Uh-huh.
What
I
the
don't know why.
heck?
I just drank a lot of electrolytes.
Like what? Did you just have like a lot of Powerade or something?
I had Pedialyte.
Wait, what's Pedialyte again?
It's just electrolytes. Like it's a lot of sodium and like I don't know.
Oh,
It's
okay.
literally just like electrolytes.
I see, I
Like
see.
it's like medical Gatorade.
Oh, what is it? Did it taste good?
Yeah, it tastes good.
Oh, that's good.
It's like two huge bottles of like I had two of them,
Oh,
and that helped. Also, I got some like cold medication as well, and that helped a little bit. I think. I don't really know what it was. I just like threw everything I could at this. I was like, I don't want to be sick now.
you just cooked everything together and was just like
I
something's
don't know
gotta
what which
work.
one. I sweat forever. I did electrolytes. I did the sick. Maybe it was all three together that helped. But the next day I was like, oh, I'm fine.
I mean that's good. Yeah, I mean I had this thing called Liquid IV, which I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah, what?
Liquid IV.
Oh, I know what that is. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had that, which I don't know
Really?
if it helps either, but I definitely felt better the following day. But
So you had to put that in like a vein?
what? All right, David. No, it's like powder. You just throw it in like a bottle of water.
Oh, okay. I got it.
Shoot it through your brain. Okay, David.
Oh, because when I hear IV, I think of intravenous, like the injection. Like
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I think it's just the name of the brand, but yeah, that would be interesting if I'm just inserting it into my vein.
Yeah, that would be weird if they supplied that. Like, you
Yeah,
had
I
to do
think
that
so
yourself?
too. Yeah, I don't think that would create the best habits either.
Yeah, probably not.
Um, but yeah, that sounds good though. It's good to hear that you're feeling better though. It's good.
Yeah, I know, dude. It sucked. My head hurt so bad.
Yeah, I can, I can imagine. Bro, it was so bad on, what was it, Friday night? That was like when I was probably like, or maybe it was Saturday night. No, it was Friday night. That was like when it was like peak hurting the most, and I
Uh-huh.
was trying to go to sleep probably around like a little bit earlier, like 10:30ish, you know.
Yeah.
But like it was so bad because there was like a party going on, like not our suite
I knew you
mates.
were gonna say something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like, and I swear to you, they had like one of the loudest speakers you could ever imagine, and it was just like coming through the wall, and I couldn't go to sleep till like
Really?
1:30. Yeah, and then I couldn't get, and then I woke up at like 2:30, and then 3:30, and
Really?
oh my goodness, bro, that was pain. I had to take like Advil at like 2 in the morning because like I couldn't even like feel my head.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Was the song good at least?
No, they were playing just like random songs. I don't know, bro.
Like rager music.
For real. When's your first class today?
Uh, 11?
11. So, oh, you still got 2 hours.
Well, you and my team are different.
Well, yeah, I was like counting for your time. Isn't it only
No,
9 there?
no,
What?
the 9:06.
Uh,
So
this guy's a comedian,
two
dude.
hours, not quite correct. For like an hour and 54 minutes.
Dude, you're really funny.
Thank
No problem, dude. Oh my goodness. But thank you for joining, David, though. It's good to hear
you.
you. Good to talk to you. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's why I didn't stream on Friday either.
Yeah, I know you told me.
Friday was no bueno. But that's okay. 1 for 1 today. Hit like a small 10%er. But yeah, I mean, if you kind of just this chart is like disgusting on Spy though.
Yeah, I know.
Da. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Um, oh, but you know what I did have though? That I don't know if it actually helped, but it tasted really, really good.
What?
I had like you probably had it like Thai green curry or green Thai
Oh,
curry.
yeah, I know what that is.
Yeah, so I had that, and then like I had it. So like they asked like what spice level, and it was like on a scale from like 1 to 5, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, it shouldn't be that bad. But then Tyler, he was like, no, just chill out. So I was like, okay, whatever. I'll go conservative, right? I'll go
Uh-huh.
3 out of 5. Bro, I couldn't like feel my head by the end of it. My like nostrils were like, it felt like I
Wait,
was
you went with the
bleeding.
5? The spiciest one?
No, I went with 3.
Oh, okay.
I went with 3. So like it went from like mild, medium, hot, very hot, and then Thai hot, and I just got the
Oh,
hot one. And then I was thinking, okay, like it can't actually be that hot, because like generally I hold down spice like okay, at least like Korean spice, okay.
uh-huh.
So I was like, yeah, I should be okay. And then bro, I like barely was able to finish it because like my head was like actually about to explode. It was pretty bad, but yeah,
That's pretty spicy, Jesus.
yeah, it was really
Like
spicy.
compared to something, what was it like, the spice?
What's like the spicy thing you've had, like Korean food wise?
Have you ever like the really spicy noodles? Like the times too spicy like ramen noodles?
Oh yeah, that's what you've had before.
Yeah, compared to that.
Okay, so like for that, I don't know how you reacted to that, but like that, like yeah, I thought that was spicy, but it was to the point where, like I was sweating like a little bit, okay,
Mm-hmm.
right? But like I swear to you, after I had finished eating this curry, I
Mm-hmm.
felt like I just went through an entire workout. Like my shirt was drenched. Like I was sick. I felt like my nose was bleeding because like it straight up was just like straight mucus coming out of my
Uh-huh.
nose, and it was yeah, no, it was very, very spicy.
You ate this by yourself?
Yeah.
Dude, what? How come you didn't like ask someone like, is this like the spiciness level? Like, how come you didn't just like ask them?
Well, no, but
'Cause
no, it was
I
because
know for
like
a
I
fact
had.
like,
Wait, sorry, go ahead.
well, I was gonna say like I know for a fact like if I go to like, especially like a Thai restaurant, like their ratings like they're skewed. It's not like a Buffalo Wild Wings kind of rating. It's like it's very
Buffalo
spicy.
Wild Wings. No, you're definitely right. No, but it's because I was feeling really, really poor, so that's also why I didn't even go to the actual place. I had like a coupon from like Uber Eats where it was like 0 delivery fee plus like 15% off your order.
Oh, I
So
see.
it was like actually just cheaper for me to order it to my dorm. So I was
Oh,
just
okay.
like, why not, right? So just order it. So I didn't really like ask anyone what
Uh-huh.
the spice was. I just asked my roommate Tyler because like I mean he's half Thai and he was like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, no, it's okay. And well, I'm not expecting it to be that hot.
I see. Well, at least now you know for next time.
That's true. But yeah, that
Dude,
definitely
wait,
opened up
but
my sinuses.
if that's three, if that's three, what's five, bro?
Bro, I
I
don't
can't
even
imagine
know
five.
want to know what 5
Yeah, I
is.
feel like at that point, like the difference between three and five can't be that different.
No, well, I mean, think about it. If you max it out to like a scale of 10, that's the difference between a 6 and a 10.
I
That
mean, but
literally means it's more than 50%.
But
there's
like, I don't know, like I feel like there's like a point where like spiciness, like it doesn't add, like you can't add spiciness to like something that's already about to kill you.
See, I thought that was true too until you've had Dini's like the bomb sauce though, right?
Never.
No, you haven't.
No.
No, okay, then you don't understand. Like
Mhm.
so, I thought like when I had some Korean stuff like that was like the spiciest I've ever had. But by far, more than even this Thai curry that I had, the spicy thing I've ever had in my life um, was that sauce that Dini gave me. Um,
Really?
yeah, because I don't
Oh,
think I've
you must
ever
have
felt
really
to the
spicy.
point where I thought I was gonna throw up because of um, spice
Just
until
the
I had
spiciness.
that. Yeah, that was really bad actually.
Oh,
Um, but yeah, that's funny though.
bouncing on you.
Yeah, yeah, but
Wow.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I never thought I would get to that level of spice, but yeah, that Thai curry was pretty spicy. Also, I think we might be making like a head and shoulder here on Spy.
Say that one more time.
Potential head and shoulder here on Spy.
That's what I was gonna say. Like it looks like a Head and Shoulders.
Yeah, we would have to break this neckline here. Break this to the downside. It kind of like
Yeah.
puts down to 400, and then I'm telling you though, like even though today's gonna be choppy, I think it's only gonna be this morning,
Hmm.
unless Spy decides to just consolidate the entire day. But like,
Uh-huh.
we to the downside, we have like this huge break, cause like this 400 level is a really really big level.
Jesus,
So
yeah, that's a huge gap.
yeah, it's not something that Spy's broken for a while here. And then like another thing that I was highlighting was like on Tesla. Tesla, there's this 285 level here, which is basically trying not to give up like at all. 285 was like so pre-split, that was the 850 level basically for Tesla. So 850 proved to be extremely strong for support and resistance on Spy. So I think if we break this level like pretty strong, like if we go sub 280 here on Tesla, I think again Tesla and Spy don't necessarily run together, but I think if we do get the break, I think Spy does come and break down here kind of with it.
I see.
Um, but yeah. Anything going on this week, David? Davud? Anything going on this week?
Relax.
Oh, any like events or anything? Also, are you okay? Oh,
Hello?
oh, yeah, sorry. You were like cutting out. You were like hiccuping so loud, your mic was like.
Oh, really? I'll call you back. I gotta go outside and the Wi-Fi is gonna turn off.
Oh, okay, I got you. It's all good.
Fine. I'll be
Uh, but yeah, as kind of stated before, kind of running into this head and shoulder here on Spy. We shall see. Yeah, once again, probably gonna be ending the stream in roughly 45, maybe 30 minutes. Not feeling the greatest here. Just trying to make it through this. Do, 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 do. Already been streaming for. Oh, that's the hour mark right there. I think. Oh, no, in 5 seconds here. But yeah. We shall see if we get this head and shoulders here though. Um, I don't know. I thought it might have been, but get that reversal. So bears be careful here. Once again, we're trying to retest this high here. It's quite interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Once again, this 5 minute chart is looking quite brutal here. We're getting the first candle here on potential confirmation, but we still have 3.5 minutes to candle close. Be very, very careful here entering calls. Even if we do break these highs, we do get day high break here. 4-4 upside here. Once again, be very careful. Another still full 3 minutes till this candle close. Also, it's not like we're getting pumped with huge volume yet. I think we can very easily see another trap here under this 403. 78 level area. Kind of like the first true high before we get pulled back on the day here. Also is what aftermarket low was on Friday. This is just nasty right now. Really, really bad. Not terribly exciting day on SPY, I'll be honest. My guess is QQQ isn't. Yeah, no. Not really doing anything better. Snowflake, however. Oh, damn. We get this pull back up, though. Still very, very solid here on Snowflake. But yeah. Okay, also, I've been getting this question a lot, not necessarily in stream, but definitely from some of our YouTube videos. Uh, the question is, why do we use technical analysis over fundamental analysis when it's kind of proven that fundamental analysis works long term? And the second part of that question is also, do you only solely use one or the other, fundamental or technical? And this is my general answer. Again, I am not a certified professional in any type of way, but this is just my opinion that I've kind of gotten from trading throughout the last year and a half, 2 years now. And what I would say is that fundamental analysis, I think it's quite an important thing to learn. However, if you're really just new and you're kind of getting into the understanding of what stocks are, in my opinion, the route to go is to kind of understand technical analysis first, because technical analysis, in theory, really doesn't need to account for anything other than what the value of the price is at the current time, right? Fundamental analysis really goes into the intrinsic value of the company and the intrinsic value of that stock, I guess, right? Because what a stock is, right, is the assets of that company, right? And trying to take off the liabilities with discounted cash flow models, it really does get quite complicated. Again, if you want to go into the field of investment banking, maybe then you want to get more into the fundamental analysis part of it. But I highly suggest if you're getting into stocks, get into technical analysis first. It doesn't need to be all about learning charts and seeing all these different patterns and what a head and shoulder and cup and handle is. But just understanding how different trends kind of tend to pick up and just very, very basic support and resistance, because this can be very important on whether you're going to be getting more in depth into technical analysis or if you want to learn more about fundamental analysis, right? Because I personally tend to pair the both together. I have a short and long term account where I have my long terms that I still, even if I love a company, will actually wait for it to break down to technical levels for me to think about buying for the long term. Again, this just has a lot to do with the fact that once you kind of understand technical analysis, it's very hard to kind of fully push it away after you see its backtesting and its accuracy kind of done once again and time after time. And so I tend to pair the two together, and that's why I don't always enter on a stock that I think fundamentally is great right away. I kind of just wait, and then I go in and buy that stock. But yeah, that's really the big difference between the two, and why I think pairing the two together is not necessarily a terrible idea. But yeah, that's just generally what I would say. So SPY definitely make a confident move up here. I think the 5 minute, yeah, we did finally get the close above this level. Just something very nice you'd like to see. Um, but yeah, once again, just being very careful here as we head towards this 405 level here on SPY. Also just something that my friend was pointing out. Um, potential move here on uh, Snowflake could lead to something relatively nice. Um, Again, it does kind of seem like we do have like kind of like this channel forming here. It may just be really just two trend lines kind of forming here. But once again, you're kind of getting, although you're kind of getting this move to the upside, at the same time here, you're kind of getting like this ascending kind of almost wedge kind of happening here on Snowflake. Also, I think a big level that a lot of people are looking at is this Fibonacci retracement. Um, and all this really is taking in the high and the low of those levels here um, on Snowflake. And sorry, let me make this slightly better, actually. And so all Fibonacci retracement really does is just trying to grab the highs and lows of each level and retrace to certain levels basically where um, it can be found that there are levels of support and resistance. And to the upside here, it's not anything really to like 270, but to the downside here, this 185 level can really act as like type of area for support and resistance for Snowflake to kind of break out of like these two trend lines. But once again, kind of just waiting for this break under out of 185 to kind of keep catching it lower to this 160 level. I really do like this breakdown here, but once again, just trying to be patient with this move down is going to be relatively important as well. But yeah. Also, I guess if you're retracing from the not all-time high, but close to previous highs, um, we do have a level on the 50 here. We're on the 61.8% retracement at 195. So I think that's why a lot of people are still focusing on trying to go short on Snowflake here. Again, what all these really mean and all these like charts and things really mean and what Fibonacci retracement really means is really just levels that basically price action may move to just because over a certain or given a certain amount of time it just will pull back most likely. But again, seeing a lot of volume, consistent volume here on Snowflake, which looks good. Yeah. Yeah, I may not even make another trade here today, just because once again, not feeling the greatest. And yeah, it's another thing I'll say about trading. Yeah, mentally you definitely need to be strong, because, you know, you need to suppress gains and losses. Um, However, you also need, just physically speaking, being strong physically also helps a lot as well. Just making sure you're in good health, because it definitely does affect your mental in the long term. And so, making sure that you're both physically and mentally good when you're trading, like with anything, very important. So yeah. We are getting a slight pullback here on SPY, but once again, I think we are still definitely trending to this upside here. Looks quite strong. Yeah, not too bad at all. I think if we pull back down to this 40378 area, this is maybe where I go in and try to enter. But yeah. Once again, just slow pullback here is what we're waiting for. Volume is definitely starting to pick up though, which is definitely good. We are wicking a little bit on the 1 minute. But yeah, not bad here. I think we might want to see if we get a move incoming, but once again, this is a whole lot of choppy gone so far. So yeah, actually, let me move this up slightly. Yeah, I think I'm maybe entering calls here just for a quick scalp. Just because once again, I like this level here that we've kind of retested, and I believe we'll try to make support on. Again, if we get like a huge break, probably not taking this. Kind of looks like we're getting a huge break. But yeah. I targeted the 4070 calls on SPX once again. I got the entry in at 4.0 flat as soon as we cross back on that red level there. We're seeing a relatively green candle, but once again, we want this volume to be consistently high, keep moving up here. Up already 10%, very strong here on SPY. But once again, keep moving up here is the hope. The psychological level here on 404 of SPY. Making this break is going to be important. Kind of just did tap that 404 and reject. Not exactly what you want to see when you're trying to move to the upside here. We are slowly getting pushed down towards the end of this candle. Not necessarily looking great, but still looking for upside here. My stop loss will be this 4037 area. Again, trying to just keep stops close, just because not in terribly great health. Not trying to move one way or the other, I guess. But yeah, 4070 call, 4.0 was the entry. But yeah. Still looks pretty confident. 5-minute chart here. We got another 25 seconds to close, but yeah, as long as we close kind of at this level that we're at right now. I like this. I like this move, actually. And here's this break under slightly. Didn't get stopped out just yet. We missed it by just a few cents. We are breaking down here. Unfortunately, I did get stopped out for break even. But yeah, strong move down there to close the candle. That looks really, really rough, actually. 5-minute, not closing above that level. Looks really poor, actually. We may continue to the downside here. May get a quick retest up to this level right here. I want to bet it at 40371. 40371, and then here, let me path it out just a little real quick. If I could. Or maybe not. Yeah, sorry. But yeah, probably touch, chop, move is my guess. Oh, not that. Again, it's hard to say, but this is kind of what I imagine here. This retest on this 40371 or even 404 level is kind of what I imagine. Again, while we did hold this level okay, we really need to find support on that level. We kind of broke all the way under. Not really great. Again, a decent amount of volume coming in, but not exactly what you want to be seeing for sure. But yeah, I'm kind of just waiting for this to play out slightly. Once again, we shall see. We shall see. Yeah. Wow, very clean break above on this 1 minute here. This is very impressive by SPY actually. But once again, I just want to say that this is a lot of chop here. I guess we kind of are making this upwards channel here. Again, it's kind of rough to say, but with this low right at market open, it's plausible, I guess. Here, let me just draw it in. No, I mean, even that's pretty rough. And it's really betting on like a decent amount here. Like just moving all the way up here. Again, this upwards channel definitely a little more confident in. But yeah, to really say that we're in any type of main channel is kind of speculative in my opinion. We are getting that slight pullback of, I believe was the 404 test again. Not terribly surprising. Yeah, decent amount of selling here. I think if we break this recent low of 403.32, yeah. This is kind of how I imagined this would play out with that last path as I was talking about before. But yeah. Again, the reason why it's very common on trappy days like this to kind of, you know, even if this is all the information that we have on this right side, yeah, you get this big selling volume on this big support level that we were kind of making before. And that's the kind of reason why I wasn't too confident on going to the upside anymore, and the reason why I was targeting that downside there. A lot of it has to do with the fact that when you, yeah, a lot of selling. When you do make this pull down here, especially on this big candle, this is not what you want to be seeing. And again, this pull up, you're pulling back up to, it was 403.96, seems to be the level. You didn't make a fully clean pullback to 404. Again, my guess was that we were going to pull up to 403.72, so I guess we missed it by a few cents, but that's also how you catch these kind of moves down. Usually it's only one candle and then you move down lower, but two candles not come on either, where you kind of get a slight pullback, so you can push even further. Once again, seeing a lot of kind of small trappings here, but yeah, trapping really just has to go along the lines of, you know, seeing their support and resistance, not waiting till candle close, and just getting absolutely burned, because once again, you thought that there might have been upside here, but if you didn't wait for the longer term candles to close, you're getting burned all the way to the opposite direction there, which is rough and which is not something you necessarily want to see. But yeah, that's typically how you want to play this breaks. Once again, you get those strong breaks. Most likely, it's not just going to be a strong break, continual move. Sometimes it'll be like a wide swing almost, but most of the time it's going to be sharp down, sharp back up, into a retest, into a very large fall. Once again, this move doesn't seem that big, but I guess once again, if you timed it perfectly, that's like a full $1.20 move. It's probably like an 80% move, to be honest, to the downside on SPX. Yeah. Yeah, I want to say we're even out of this upwards trend here now. Yeah, this not looking too great for SPY. We are making this break to the downside here as well. Also, this is kind of what I meant by the single green handle here. So, a lot of times when we're about to free fall, or we are falling, you get this kind of what I like to call pausing candle in the middle here. And what it really is trying to basically get the people that want to lock in profits to lock in profits. And so that's where you get some buyers. But most of the time, what happens is that you kind of fall, like a falling knife type of thing. You kind of get a slight buying, and then you fall even further. Typically it goes like 3-1-3, but again, this is kind of very usual here in terms of just pattern analysis. You kind of go up, retest, fall, pausing candle here, you continue to fall, and you usually don't get multiple pausing candles on the same type of route and or pattern, but most likely, what are we trading at? 402.31. I mean, really the last thing we have to test is this day low here, which we kind of opened at down at 401.54. Again, if we even get down to this 401.54, that'd be quite impressive here. Um, but yeah, if we do get down, I think we very easily test this 400 level here. Also, something to see. As I was noting before, when we were kind of chopping at this level right here, we saw increasing volume on a chop level, which is not very common. And so this is how we can also kind of predict a reversal here coming as well, right? So we see this kind of decreasing volume, decreasing, until we get kind of this flat. Then we get this chop volume right here, right? Kind of starting to increase. First big red candle, we make that break on. A lot of increasing volume coming into that. Even though we did get some buying volume on this, this was again just that retest into a lot of selling. Increasing volume is what you exactly want to see here if you want that continual downside. Um, but yeah, sorry if I'm also mumbling words. But yeah, that's generally how you want to play that. We are getting a buy signal here, but again, buy signals don't really mean too much, especially when momentum is kind of coming down like this. Again, you could have again, we kind of played this put. If you really wanted pure confirmation off this line right here, right? This is again what I was going back to a beginning extreme of supply and demand levels. This level got touched basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, potentially 6 times if you count open. But yeah, 6 times here we're getting kind of touched, and that this break, although it wasn't like actual candle break or body of a candle break, we did get that break. So again, we're getting these buy signals. Stochastics, however, are still kind of following to the downside here. We are starting to get a little oversold, which is what I'm kind of concerned about if you want to keep flowing down here. But yeah, once again, getting buy signals, make us retest back up to this 402.50 area, but it's kind of what we're just kind of looking for here on SPY. Again, volume's still looking great, right? We're getting the increasing overall volume compared to, you know, what average was, but I think we come back up just ever so slightly, and then we push lower. My thought again. But yeah. Now just another waiting game. Also, Dallas Fed index is minus 12.9, forecast is minus 12.7. Don't exactly know what that means, I'll be honest, but what I do know is that expectation was better than what the numbers actually were, so that also kind of helped this catalyst in terms of moving down as well as volume. Yeah. Some weird candles forming here. We did finally get this break again though, which is nice. I guess we didn't get this retest all the way back to this level here, but I guess we got this retest of this low here to move lower. Once again, this is extremely common, especially on these breaks here on like soft levels of support and resistance. Just pulling back to retest to move lower. Same thing to the upside, right? Like if you have stuff to the upside here, let's say you had this level from before. This is again a bigger swing, but you're still coming to retest, and then that's when you get that move higher. Retest again, move back even higher once more. But yeah, extremely common. That's why if you miss your entry on a break, not such a terrible thing, right? Because yes, there's a likelihood that you miss it, just runs the moon, right? However, it's a lot better to miss it and just not get it all than just try to go for it and completely get an entry that you don't want and for it to pull all the way back, and for you to be just sitting there on your bum and kind of just waiting for the play to play out even further, and you know, money's kind of just wasting away because you kind of knew you could have gotten a slightly better entry. Um, but yeah, something to kind of just think about. If you don't get your entry, really try not to chase, because psychologically, once you enter, it's going to be a whole lot harder, right? If you chase it at such a high average price, this will be extremely poor, just because when you chase at such a high average price, you are expecting an even higher price target, right? However, that's what I was saying, really look at your levels. You really should be looking at levels, not just the contract price, right? Because yes, locking in 10, 25, 30%, those numbers are good, but if they don't really mean too much on the actual charting, you could just be getting out for a bad risk to reward ratio, which is not something you really want to see. But yeah, that's what I'll generally say. Just really look at your chart, look at the levels that you want to enter and exit at, and yeah, that's kind of how you play that there. Also, once again, the support level here. I kind of moved it down because I thought we were getting rejected from it, but same level here. If you're moving into resistance, or again, this is not like actual resistance, it's just levels that we kind of tapped at before. If you're moving into it with decreasing volume, very high likeliness, you're also not going to be breaking through it, right? The last time we kind of broke through, let's say even like days highs here, right? We broke through it with increasing volume, but you're getting a lot of chop here. Well, it means that something else is kind of going on in the market, getting this pushed down. Once again, you get this increasing volume just because we're getting like selling, but if you want a complete reversal, you need the volume to stay high there. That's why when you come up to this area that we kind of just tap a whole lot with decreasing volume, not going to be too confident that you're going to keep on breaking to the upside here. In fact, rejection is a very high probability here, and so that's why, once again, this area, we've kind of tapped it like 6 times to the as support, now 1 time as resistance. This is on decreasing volume, but once again, we get that day break. 401.54 in the books, basically, something that we're almost guaranteed to see. We make that confident break. Again, this break, once again, will most likely break it, retest. Let me path this out. Most likely break it, right? I don't know how far we'll pull down, but let's just say we break it. We retest this level, pull farther, right? Pausing candle, move further, right? And so that's general pathing, right? Again, this isn't guaranteed pathing, but it's just something that tends to happen over and over again, right? You make those breaks, you retest, come down, pausing candle, then you come even further. Again, it's not terribly hard to catch a falling knife, right? But if you can kind of do it in a way that the pattern kind of happens over and over and over, you can get better entries, which nets you more in the future, right? Again, you don't want a perfect entry because 90% of the time, if you're looking for a perfect entry, you'll never really get it. But just generally following this overall pattern can help you get decent entries. However, also, we are getting extreme movement on this last candle here. Not something you generally see, I guess. Volume isn't great either, though, which doesn't leave me too convinced. Yeah, really odd movement here on SPY. Again, kind of known just because we are choppy, but generally these rules about these breaks are quite common. But yeah. But yeah, dang. SPY just trying to fight to try to not necessarily even be positive on the day, but just trying to find some kind of support here to move to the upside. But yeah, I think I might be getting off soon, so if there's any questions, just leave them in chat. Just again, not feeling the greatest, so just another few seconds to kind of close. How do I think this is gonna play out? I think I have a little bit more data. Hmm. Maybe we chop a little bit. Pop off of support. Come out pretty hard, I think. I don't think we get a full retest. Slight pausing candle, and then move further down. Yeah. That's kind of what I imagine. A game plan for right now. Oh my goodness. Well, no, not that way. Game plan for right now is that I still see downside, very much so. Um, However, this is kind of just scenario one for the downside. We'll most likely just move, chop, move, chop. Once we get to this level of 4154, pop up, then fall even further. I don't know if I actually will get this full retest cleanly again. That's the 4154 area, just because we've already gotten it so cleanly before. So we might not get a full pullback, but we might get a decent pullback on this break here into this head lower to this 400 level. I really couldn't tell you what's going to happen at this 400, just because, well, A, of how choppy it's been so far today, and B, we haven't really been at this 400 level in a decent amount of time, so, yeah. Also, hello. Hey, Justin.
What's up?
You doing alright?
Yeah, I'm chilling.
That's good, that's good.
Just been I had I had study hall that starts at 8 and I have class till 10, and so I had no homework, so I've just been chilling for 2 hours basically.
Oh, that's good.
I was watching it on YouTube though, because I can't really speak, but I was just I was just seeing it on here for a second.
Oh, yeah,
The
no, you're good.
lives.
100%, yeah. One, I guess 1 for 2, but the one I guess broke even on. The other one caught a slight 10%. But yeah, today is really, really choppy. In my opinion, if you aren't willing to have like amazing patience, I'd probably be waiting and maybe not even play today, to be honest. I'm sure you heard it when I was on stream, but when you have strong moves in one direction like we had on Friday, like -1%, +1%, +2%, +3%, like intraday, right? Moving in a single direction, typically the following day will not be like that whatsoever. I think that's only happened like once this entire past year, I want to say, where we got like a +2, -2% day, and then the following day we kind of continued in the same direction. So yeah, just expect a lot of chop today if you are gonna play today.
Yeah, I'm just been watching right now, waiting.
But
Yeah, I'm gonna go hop back into the YouTube. I was just gonna see how you're doing.
No, yeah, I'm doing alright. I think I may end up ending stream actually like right now, to be honest.
Are you up? All right.
Yeah, just because again I'm not feeling great. Kind of got sick on Friday, and that's why I didn't stream Friday. But yeah.
So you didn't have a fun second college weekend.
No, unfortunately not. I did make a lot of money on Friday, but yeah,
Oh, okay,
was not able to get out. I like seriously, this move after the Fed meeting was actually insane. Like straight up, like
No, yeah.
I didn't personally hold it, but like if you just got puts after the meeting and just held them to end of the day, you would have netted 500%.
Yeah, I sold them too quick because I didn't think I forget where I had a 3 spy puts. I made it was like 60% off them.
I mean, yeah, that's really solid.
I forget where I sold it, but it was definitely earlier than bottoms of the day.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, 60% solid, but yeah, Friday was like just easy. It was just printing money basically.
Basically.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you don't like, that's why like when there are big intraday stuff like this meeting, try not to ever play this. Like you are actually gambling against the house. Like when you are doing that, just wait for it to calm down, wait for it to break to one side or the other, and you most likely will get continuation. But yeah, that's
Yep.
it's pretty.
Alright.
It was not too bad. But yeah, it was good talking to you though, Justin.
Good talking to you. I'll check in with you tomorrow. See you,
Alrighty,
Caleb.
sounds good. Have a great rest of your day. Peace. But yeah, that will be the end of the stream. Sorry to end it a little bit early, but hope you guys have a great rest of the day. And again, leave any questions in YouTube comments or anything really along those lines. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. See you guys.